This video deals with conditional clause. Conditionals in English grammar are the sentences with two clauses. One is if clause and another is a main clause. A clause is a group of words which has a subject and verb. Conditional sentence describes a condition and the result. A conditional clause is a part of a sentence. It expresses a condition. As a sentence is if, it is also called if clause. This conditional clause has four types. They are zero conditional. It's also called as real or factual condition. Next one is first conditional. It is also called as probable or open condition. Next one is second type, second conditional. It is also called as improbable and it is hypothetical. It's an imaginary condition. Third conditional is also called as impossible condition. It's not possible. We can see the types and the structure of this conditional clause in detail. Zero condition. Zero conditional is used to talk about facts or situations which are always true. It is used to describe known truths and scientific facts. See the examples. If you heat ice, it melts. This sentence has two parts. If you heat ice is the subordinate clause or dependent clause or if clause. It melts is the main clause or independent clause. If you heat ice is not a complete sentence. So this is called as dependent clause. It melts gives full meaning. So this is the main clause. Here in conditionals we use if clause and main clause. In transformation of sentences, that is simple, compound and complex sentence, we use main clause, subordinate clause or main clause or independent clause, subordinate clause or dependent clause. If babies are hungry, they cry. If babies are hungry is if clause and they cry is a main clause. See the structure of this sentence. If plus subject plus simple present tense. In the main clause we have subject and present tense. This is the structure of zero conditional. Here also if you heat ice, it melts. See the structure. If plus subject plus simple present tense. In the main clause, subject plus present tense. When we see the third sentence, it is somewhat different. Babies cry if or when they are hungry. In this sentence, babies cry is a main clause. If or when they are hungry is a conditional clause. We can change these parts also, but the structure remains the same. See in this main clause, subject plus present tense. Here, if plus subject plus simple present tense. Then, when we see this last example, see the structure. If plus subject plus simple present tense plus object. Okay. Here in the main clause, subject plus present tense. This is a structure of zero condition. If plus simple present tense, simple present tense. This is the structure of zero condition. We can see the types of conditional clauses with examples and their structures. Type 1 is called as probable or possible condition. If you work hard, you will pass. If you work hard is if clause and you will pass is main clause. See the structure: if plus subject plus simple present tense in if clause, and subject plus will plus verb, that is present tense, that is base form of verb in main clause. We can use shall, can, can't, may, won't, and shan't also. So the structure is if plus subject plus simple present tense in if clause, and in main clause subject plus will plus present tense. In if clause also we are using simple present tense, and in main clause will plus will or shall or can, etc. plus simple present tense. The second type is called as improbable or imaginary or hypothetical condition. If you worked hard, you would pass. See the structure: if plus subject plus simple past tense in if clause, and subject plus would plus present tense, that is base form of verb in main clause. We can use would, could, or might also. See the next example: if I were a bird, I would fly. See the structure: if plus subject plus simple past tense. Here subject plus would plus verb, that is V1. In improbable or hypothetical condition, if we use if I, we must use where only. Where is correct. Was is not correct. So if we use if I, we must use where only. So in the second type, we are using simple past tense. Here would or could or might plus present form. Then in the third type, we are using if plus subject plus had plus past participle. This third type is also called as impossible condition. See the example: if you had worked hard, you would have passed. If plus subject plus had plus past participle. This is called as past perfect tense in if clause, and in main clause subject plus would have plus past participle. This is the structure of third type: if plus subject plus had plus past participle in if clause, and subject plus would have or could have or should have or might have plus past participle in main clause. But we must be cautious when we use this third type. See, if we see had, we must be very cautious in using the verb. Say after had, if there is past participle, we can use would have. If there is no past participle means this had is used in the sense of past tense and not in past perfect tense. So at that time we must use would only. We have to bear this in mind when we use this in verb and tense also. See some more examples for type 1. The structure of type 1 is if plus subject plus verb. The verb must be in present tense in if clause, and subject plus can or will or shall or may plus verb in main clause. Here also the verb must be in present tense. See the first example. If you waste water, you will suffer. If you waste water is if clause. You will suffer is main clause. You will suffer gives meaning. It's a full sentence. It gives full meaning. So this is a main clause. If you waste water doesn't give full meaning and it depends on some other part to give full meaning. So this is a subordinate clause or if clause or conditional clause. If plus subject plus verb. This verb is in present tense. Waste is in present tense. You subject will plus present tense verb. You will suffer. We can keep like this also in mind. If plus subject plus simple present tense, and in the result section we will have future tense will suffer. So the structure of type 1 is if plus subject plus present tense in if clause and subject plus will plus present tense in main clause. See the second example. If you lend me some money, I can buy a new car. If plus subject, you is a subject and lend is in present tense. I is a subject here. Can buy. Buy is in present tense. So the structure of this type 1 is if plus subject plus present tense in if clause and subject plus can plus present tense in main clause. Third example, if I have money, I will buy a car. If I have money is an if clause. I will buy a car is a result clause or main clause. If plus subject plus present tense. Here in main clause, subject plus will plus present tense. Here the structure is if plus simple present tense gives future tense in main clause. If the bus breaks down, I won't be able to attend the class. The next one, final example, if it rains, I shall get wet. If plus subject plus simple present tense, subject plus shall plus present tense. So I hope this first type is clear. The structure is if plus subject plus present tense, subject plus can or will or shall or may plus present tense in main clause. Otherwise, if plus subject plus present tense and in the result section, subject plus future tense. Type 2 condition is improbable or imaginative or unreal or hypothetical condition. Hypothetical means it's based on suggestion. See the structure. If plus subject plus verb. This verb must be in past tense in if clause. Subject plus could or would or might plus verb. This verb must be in present tense in main clause. See the first example. If he studied well, he would pass the exam. This is an unreal sentence, imaginary sentence, hypothetical sentence. If he studied well, he would pass the exam. If he studied well is if clause, he would pass the exam as main clause. See the structure. If plus subject plus past tense. He is a subject here. Would plus present form. That is base form of the verb. Pass, fly, buy, bite, feed, or the base forms of the verbs. So this is the structure of second conditional clause. If plus subject plus past tense in if clause, and subject plus would or could or might plus present tense in main clause. See the second example. If I were a bird, I would fly. If plus subject plus past tense. Here subject plus would plus present form. In hypothetical condition or in imaginary condition, we must use where next to I. We must not use was. If I was is wrong, if I were is correct. If I were a bird, I would fly. Here, this is an imaginative condition because I am not a bird, so I cannot fly is the meaning of this sentence. This is hypothetical. If I won a lottery, I would buy a BMW car. Here also, this is unreal. It is improbable. So the structure is if plus subject plus past tense. And then the object here also subject plus would plus present tense. Okay. If plus subject plus past tense in if clause and subject plus past tense, you can keep like that also. Here past tense, here also in main clause also past tense, then present form, that is base form of the verb. The next one, if it got out of the gate, the dog would bite us. If plus subject plus past tense, here also subject plus would plus base form of the verb. If I had more money, I would feed a lot of people. See this sentence, if I had more money. This had is a past tense. We must not confuse this had with past tense and perfect tense. This had is used here as past tense. If I had more money, I would feed a lot of people. See the structure. If plus subject plus past tense. Here subject plus past verb also. Okay, we can keep like that also. I would plus present form of the verb. If I had more money, I would feed a lot of people. This is imaginative clause, okay, imaginative sentence, okay. This is not real. There is no money. That's the meaning of this sentence. If I had more money, I would feed a lot of people. We use second condition when we know very well that the condition will not be fulfilled or when it is not possible. It's unreal. Third type is an unfulfilled condition. It is impossible. We are talking about past, but not happened in the past. So it's over. We can't do anything. At the time, we have to use this third type. See the structure. If plus subject plus had plus past participle, or if plus subject plus past perfect in if clause. Subject plus would have or should have or could have or might have plus past participle, that is past form of future perfect in main clause. See the example. If Raj had got enough water, he would have shared it with his neighbor. He would have shared it with his neighbor as a main clause, as it gives full meaning. If Raj had got enough water is if clause. This is a conditional clause. If plus subject plus past perfect, or had plus past participle in if clause. He plus, that is subject plus would have plus past participle in main clause. If plus subject plus past perfect means would have or should have or could have or might have plus past participle. This is a format of third type. This is the structure of third type. If Anand had attended the interview, he would have found a job. If plus subject plus past perfect had attended, here subject plus would have plus past participle, would have found. If Bhagya hadn't started early, she would have been late to work. This is in the negative sense. Had not, hadn't started. If plus subject plus past perfect. Here she would have been late to work. If James had performed well, he would have got an award. See, actor had this verb. So this is past perfect. In second type we saw an example. There that had was used in the sense of past tense. It's not perfect tense. Here this is a past perfect tense. So would have is used here. Would have plus past participle. If we had saved more rainwater, we could have survived the drought. If plus subject plus had plus past participle are past perfect. Here we could have survived the drought. If we are clear about the structure, it will be easy for us to write this conditional clause or if clause. We can keep the structure shortly like this also. It may be correct. Most probably it may be correct. Type 1, simple present tense. In main clause, simple future tense. Will plus V1. Will or shall. Most probably we use will or shall. Plus V1. That is present form or base form of the verb. Type 1, simple present, simple future. That is will or shall plus V1. Type 2, simple past tense. In main clause, conditional with would or could. Most probably would or could. Sometimes might. Would plus V1. Example, would yarn, would fly. Type 3, past perfect. If you see had plus past form, past participle. Past perfect. In main clause, perfect conditional. That is would have, could have, should have. Plus V3. That is would have performed, would have visited, would have washed, like that. Recapitulation. We can see all types with an example and their structures. These sentences are quite similar, but there are some little difference as well. The difference lies in the verb. Check out the verbs. Zero conditional. Zero conditional is called as factual conditional. See the example. If I get sick, I go to the doctor. Here, we use this zero conditional to talk about habits, facts, and truths. We can't argue about these things. It's a possibility. If plus subject, the simple present tense. Here, simple present tense. In the result section also, simple present tense. This is a structure of zero conditional. First conditional, if I get sick, I will go to the doctor. We used to talk about possible and likely future outcomes in first conditional. It is possible, is it not? I'll get sick, and if that occurs, I will probably go to the doctor. So, see the structure. If plus subject, the simple present tense. Here, we can say like this also, simple future tense, or shall plus shall or will or can or may. Then see the second conditional. This is a hypothetical condition. This is a hypothetical situation. It is not real. It is an imaginary situation. It is unreal. If I got sick, I would go to the doctor. See the structure. If plus simple past tense. If plus subject plus simple past tense. Here also we can keep in mind like this, past tense. Or would plus present form. Should, could, or would, or might can also be used. In third conditional, this is also past unreal condition. If I had been sick, I would have gone to doctor. If plus had plus past participle V3. So we have to keep these structures in mind when we write this conditional clauses. When we use this conditional clauses, the structures are very important. See the sentence. If I dash a spider, I dash webs. This is a second type. In hypothetical condition or in imaginary condition, use where after I. So, if I were a spider, I would weave webs. See the structure. If plus subject plus past tense. Here also past tense, would or could or should plus base form of verb. Weave is the base form. So would weave is correct. If I were a spider, I would weave webs. If Raj dash a sculptor, he dash beautiful idols. Same pattern. If Raj were a sculptor, he dash make beautiful idols. He would make. Same pattern. If subject plus past tense. Here the past tense for will, would is used. Then base form of the verb. Third one, if Mary had an umbrella, she dash lend it to me. Here, if plus subject plus had. Here this had is past tense. After had, there is no verb. So here, this had is past tense. We must use past tense here also. So would lend. Past tense for will is would lend. Rex would have played with me if he dash time. This is the third time. Would have played. Subject plus would have plus past participle. So had is the answer here. If plus subject plus past perfect. For that past perfect, we use one had. And when we are talking about the past and want to refer back to an earlier past time, we are using one more had here. So this is an important rule. We must be clear with this rule. Then if I were you, I dash accept this offer. Same pattern. The first, second. We saw the first and second, the same pattern we have to follow here also. If I were you, I would accept. Would plus base form of verb. We dash storybooks for kids if we allow time for storytelling. If plus subject plus present tense. This is the first type. Open condition. So if plus subject plus present tense. In main class, subject plus future tense or will or shall or can or may plus base form of the verb. So here we will select as the answer. We will select storybooks for kids if we allow time for storytelling. The educational minister dash our school tomorrow if he goes by this way. So this if class, if he goes by this way, if plus subject plus, this is also simple present tense. So will visit. The educational minister will visit our school tomorrow. You will be rewarded by the wise if you dash for truth. If plus subject plus simple present tense. Here see the answer. See here in this main class, you will be rewarded by the wise. Will be rewarded is given. So stand as the answer. If my mother dash of my poor performance in the exam, She will not allow me to watch a movie. If plus subject. See here, she will not allow me to watch a movie. This is a main class. Subject plus will plus present form. So, knows. Why knows means this is a third person singular. My mother is third person singular. So, knows is the answer. If I had won the lottery, I dash relief materials for the flood victims. If plus subject plus had plus past participle, past perfect. In this main class, I dash donate. Would have donated is the answer. Would have plus past participle. Would have donated relief materials for the flood victims. So I hope you understood this if class. See, one more thing, if unless comes, unless is nothing but if plus not. When we change a sentence with unless, we have to use if plus not. For example, unless you go for a walk, if you want to change this phrase, unless you go for a walk, you must change like this. If you do not go for a walk. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching.